there, a very good Tuesday morning to you and welcome to Breakfast News live on Channel 1 MTV. I'm Arundhati Fernando. Let's start off with a look at your headlines. The government to seek AG's advice regarding the verdict delivered by a London court regarding the oil hedging agreement. Postal voting for the local government elections to take place today. 53 school children killed in a bus accident in Bangladesh. The government says that it will seek the advice of the Attorney General regarding the verdict delivered by a London court against the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation on the oil hedging agreement. According to Reuters, a court in London ruled that the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has to pay Standard Chartered Bank $162 million and interest in relation to the hedging agreement.
The London court delivered this verdict when the case pertaining to the hedging agreement between the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation and Standard Chartered Bank was taken up yesterday. A spokesperson for the Standard Chartered Bank told Reuters that they are satisfied with the verdict. Meanwhile, Minister of Petroleum Industries Susil Premajayantha said that future action in this regard will be taken after consulting the Attorney General. The minister noted that an appeal can be filed against the verdict delivered by the London court.
The second stage of postal voting for the local government elections will take place today. Postal voting for 66 local government bodies is scheduled to be held today, and the number of state workers who are eligible to cast their postal votes stand at close to 59,000.
The Election Secretariat says that all preparations have been made for today's postal voting for the local government election. Additional Elections Commissioner W.P. Sumanasiri said that postal voting centres have been set up in various state institutions, including divisional secretariats and police stations, for voters to cast their ballot. He added that election officials have been advised to commence postal voting from 8:30 a.m. onwards. Meanwhile, the Election Secretariat has also taken steps to deploy special officers to postal voting centres where discrepancies are likely to occur. Additional Elections Commissioner W.P. Sumansari noted that the aim of this was to conduct a free and peaceful election. Thereby, the decision to deploy special officers will also be initiated on the 23rd as well.
Senior DIG in charge of election activities Gamini Navaratna says that a special security plan is in place today for the postal voting for the local government elections. The senior DIG noted that additional officers have been deployed at voting centres where malpractices had taken place at previous elections. He added that if any problems occur during postal voting, to inform the nearest police station for an immediate response. Senior DIG in charge of election activities Gamini Navaratna noted that all measures have been taken to ensure a peaceful and fair local government election. The Campaign for a Free and Fair Election or CAFE says that their officers have been deployed at postal voting centres for the local government election today. Its Executive Director Kirti Theneko noted that officers have been deployed at voting centres across the island. Meanwhile, the National Coordinator of the National Polls Observation Centre, Attorney at Law Rasanga Harishchandra, said that the centre has taken steps to deploy officers at several voting centres. Still in local news, wildlife officers have discovered a deer that had suffered gunshot injuries in the Teladinanmava area in Galkiriagama, Kekirava. According to our correspondent, the deer was discovered last evening.
The wildlife officers stated that the deer had been shot in the front leg. While the deer could not walk properly due to the wounds, area residents have been able to protect the deer from dogs that were chasing it. The wildlife officers stated that the deer, that is about 2 years of age, will be handed over to the government veterinarian in Damulla for medical administration.
2 suspects who were transporting 7 tortoises for slaughter have been arrested by the Kathagas police. According to the police, while the suspects have captured the tortoises from the Angunakole tank in Kathagas, 2 of the tortoises were dead at the time of the arrest. The suspects were produced before the Anuradhapura Chief Magistrate Darshika Vimalasiri last evening and were fined 30,000 rupees each. The Chief Magistrate also ordered the Inspector of Police to release the remaining 5 tortoises to the Mahakanadharava tank under the supervision of wildlife officers.
Offering the widest range of CFL lighting options with up to 18 months warranty and SLSI approved star rating. Belgrin, enlightening lives.
Time for international news, and on to a tragic headline-making story from the global arena. A bus carrying scores of Bangladesh schoolboys celebrating a football match victory against another school plunged off a hill road, killing at least 53.
The accident happened at the Mirzai, 240 kilometers southeast of the capital Dhaka, near the port of Chittagong. Survivors told reporters at the hospital that the children were in a happy mood, singing and dancing, when the bus crashed 50 feet into a flooded ditch. The weather was cloudy after days of rain. Police and witnesses said that as many as 80 children between 8 and 12 were on board. A local official said that 53 bodies had been recovered and 15 injured boys were taken to hospital, including 10 in a critical condition. A father of one of the victims died of heart attack after seeing his body, according to police. Hundreds of parents and relatives thronged the accident site and the hospital. Road accidents happen frequently in Bangladesh due to poor roads, poorly serviced vehicles and rarely enforced traffic laws.
Meanwhile, the U.S. Secretary of State has said Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has lost legitimacy amid diplomatic tensions between the two countries.
Speaking after a crowd attacked the U.S. Embassy in Damascus, Hillary Clinton said that Bashar was not indispensable. France blamed the regime after its embassy was similarly targeted. The embassy attack came after the U.S. and French envoys visited the troubled city of Hama last week, drawing sharp criticism from Syrian media. Pro-government demonstrators have been taking part in protests outside both embassies for the past 2 days. The residence of the ambassador, Robert Ford, was later briefly attacked, according to the State Department. In Washington, Clinton demanded that the Syrians meet their international responsibilities immediately to protect all diplomats and the property of all countries. She added that President Assad was not indispensable and that they have absolutely nothing invested in him remaining in power.
Here's a look at more international news in brief on Global Wrap.
A bus carrying scores of Bangladeshi schoolboys celebrating a football match victory against another school plunged off a hill road yesterday, killing at least 53. The accident happened at Mirzai, 240 kilometers southeast of the capital Dhaka, near the port of Chittagong. Police and witnesses said that as many as 80 children between 8 and 12 were on board. Indian Foreign Minister S.M. Krishna yesterday said that his country welcomed the United States of America's decision to suspend millions of dollars of military aid to Pakistan. Nearly $800 million in military aid and equipment, or over one-third of more than $2 billion in annual American security assistance to Pakistan, might be affected, according to the New York Times. A former vacation home in Ventura country has become an oasis for some of the world's most endangered turtles. Temperature-controlled greenhouses are dotted throughout the grounds. The greenhouses are homes to turtles from India and Pakistan, which can only thrive in environments that mimic those of their natural habitat. The turtle home in South California is designed as a refuge for rare turtles, most of which have been seized from illegal trafficking operations.